Hello, everyone. I'm Cheldin Barlat-Rumor, and this is it. Welcome back to This Is It TV. It is always a pleasure, and I'm so excited. I'd love for our next guest to introduce himself, first and last name, and the name of his business and what he is up to. So good to see you.
Cheldin, I'm Louis Bezich, men's health advocate, contributing writer to phillyvoice.com, and of course, as you know, author of the book Crack the Code, 10 Proven Secrets that Motivates Healthy Behavior and Inspires Fulfillment in Men Over 50. Happy New Year, happy belated New Year. Good to see you again.
Yes, I will say Happy New Year, I think, until December. I will say Happy New Year as we navigate this new space, these uncertain times. I'm so glad that you are at least a constant in what we've got going on here at This Is It TV. What are we talking about today?
Today, we want to talk about staying mentally sharp. You know, as we age, and we talk about, as I focus on men over 50, but all of us, men and women alike, as we age, you know, our cognitive skills are always a concern, right? You know, that I forgot my keys? Am I, you know, are my skills diminishing? That type of thing. And so we want to talk about, you know, strategies and tactics to be mentally sharp. But let me start the conversation by setting the table a little bit to say, look, in 2020, what we learned real, you know, straightforward in a real strong way is that there's a clear link between our behavior and our health, right? We got hit over the head with COVID and saying, look, you need to wear a mask, behavior. You need to socially distance, behavior. You need to wash your hands, behavior. We always knew that there was a link between behavior and our health outcomes in terms of like diet and exercise, but now we heard it, we experienced it in a whole new way. The other thing we learned in terms of behavior is that our social behaviors became tied in with this health situation called COVID, right? We found new ways to communicate. We found new ways to maintain our social relationships. So I like to think of 2020 as a really a learning experience where we really saw in such a direct and dramatic way the connection between our behaviors and our health outcomes. So as we look to 2021, let's build on that experience. Let's build on the success that we've experienced in the sense that we've learned that we can change behavior. And that's a really huge thing, whether it be social relationships or, you know, those tactics to keep ourselves healthy. So, you know, my message for 2021 is let's leverage that and put those skills to work. And one way that we can do that is to help ourselves become mentally sharp and maintain our cognitive skills, because it's all about behaviors. And what are those behaviors? It's things like, you know, keep your mind sharp. There's a school of thought that says, you know, the longer you work, the longer you're engaged in work activities, that helps to keep the mind sharp. Now, a number of us have to keep working because of economic reasons, right? But there is a benefit to that, is that it keeps you sharp. The other thing that you can do is, you know, other satisfying experience, whether it be work or whether it be social encounters and social relationships or hobbies or whatever, things that bring you personal satisfaction, that cause you to really focus and think, and that keeps the mind sharp as well. And then, you know, obviously diet and exercise are things that we can do to maintain our overall health. And that has an impact, the messages that has an impact on keeping us sharp, because when it comes to other, you know, Alzheimer's disease and other things that men sometimes are more likely than women to experience, that you want to fight that as well. So there's a whole lot of things that we can do to stay mentally sharp, which again is about our behavior, linking it to our health, in this case, our mental health.
Our mental health. And I think that people often think about exercise as it relates to the body, but not exercising your mind, right? And not finding things to do to challenge yourself mentally or to address things mentally so you can actually move forward. I think in nature, you know, at least here in the States, we tend to avoid things, thinking that that will make it easier to deal with things moving forward, but being able to address, being able to have conversations. I hope that that's part of it too, being able to utilize your mind, not being behind a screen all of the time, but participating in games, participating in things that word play, word searches, those types of things to kind of get your mind into various spaces so you can at least, you know, we're being inundated, you know, we were even talking about what's going on in the world before we started recording. And I think that when you're only taking in, you know, whether it's negative talk, which becomes negative self-talk, it's hard for you to live a positive life. But you're saying if you bring in all additional positive things and create a routine, at least I hope that's what you're saying, at least I hope that I'm understanding it correctly, then you can begin to kind of have a positive mindset.
Well, I'll give you a great case study that I'm very, very familiar with, and I just wrote about it and published a piece in Philly Voice. And that is that my dad, my father, he died, he lived to age of 91, died about 3 years ago, and was mentally sharp until the day he passed. And what he did was, particularly in his later years, but you know, when he hit his 70s and 80s and almost into 90, was he was very active socially. You know, he had a crew at the McDonald's where he'd come every morning, and the guy, mostly guys, a few ladies, but mostly guys, and they would debate, you know, the topics of the day. They'd go through the newspaper, and he's a retired, actually semi-retired attorney, so he loved to argue, he loved to debate. But and I'm sure he didn't say to himself, well, listen, I want to keep myself mentally sharp. He just loved to do it. That was just part of his makeup. And so he would have this crew several days a week at McDonald's, and he would go at it, and it really kept his mind mentally sharp. He loved to debate. And then he would, of course, on Saturdays would come over to our house and you know, just sort of like pick fights in a loving way to like just stir my wife and I up to like, and when the kids were younger, you know, talk to them about just engaging, because it was a great exercise to do that. The other thing that he did, and we again wrote about it in Philly Voice, is that he loved to dance. He would go to a place in southern New Jersey here called the Belmar Ballroom. Every Friday night, he had his routine like clockwork, and he would do his social, you know, his ballroom dancing. He loved it, swing dancing. And of course, that was the exercise piece. So he was exercising his mind, he was exercising his body, and he lived to the ripe age of 91. So I would suggest to you, while it wasn't a conscious kind of thing, it was because he loved it. It worked.
It worked.
Make the point, you know, the Mayo Clinic says, look, yes, you got to do a good diet, Mediterranean diet with preferable. You got to exercise, you got to do aerobic stuff, but social engagement and those mentally active exercises are really, really important.
I love that. I think that the social engagement is so important. And I think that people often forget about the importance of being around others and the energy that you gain from others, and staying connected to other people. Again, those conversations, mental health, physically moving. I love the dancing. And I think that that's something I might have to take up myself. I want people to get in touch with you, my friend. I love having you on, and we are so spoiled to have you as part of our community. I want more people to get their hands on the book, as well as learn more about everything that you have going on, and even have you join them as a speaker. So if people would like to get in touch with you, where would they find that information?
You go online to 50plusmen.com, 50plusmen.com, and you can see all of my activities. And if you want me to come out, either speak to your group online or come out, I'm happy to do that. We've got a whole new initiative you'll see on the website, and love to talk more about.
Oh my gosh, he spoils us so often. He can spoil you too with all of his knowledge. The book is amazing, and he is so knowledgeable. So please reach out to our friend. From all of us here at This Is It TV, I'm Cheldin Barlett Rumor, and we will see you soon. Take care.